Okay, here with a new game. And this one is a little bit weird because it's a Halo game, but different.
Loading up records for the Battle of Dratheus 5. The fighting started when a splinter sect of Covenant ignored the ceasefire of 2552 and attacked UNSC forces. By the time the fighting was done, well, it didn't end well for the UNSC or the Covenant, either one. Spartans Davis and Palmer were both stationed on Dratheus 5's moon at the time of the first attack. Let's see how they succeeded in repelling the first assault waves.
Okay. Hang on. I see the top of the window is in frame when it definitely shouldn't be. Because for some reason I can't capture just the window properly. I click that. No, that doesn't do anything. Yeah, give me a quick second. I can probably crop it real quick. Okay. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That'll do it. The only issue is I have to reorient it better. All right. So, assault on CF-32. The northern continent of X-50, Dratheus 5's moon, was riddled with large ice-covered sinkholes where the UNSC conducted a number of research projects. Where there were standard security measures in place, no one was prepared when a massive fleet of Covenant spirits appeared over the moon in direct violation of the Human Covenant Treaty of 2552. Spartan Davis deployed to Site CF-32 to support the project's security detail, who were overwhelmed by the sudden attack. Davis managed to blunt the assault and moved to secure Alpha facility, which he assumed was the inevitable target of the invasion force. Oh, so we select our weapons? You redeem new weapons for experience? This upgrade will be available during your next mission. I don't know what CR is. I'm guessing that's like a paid currency for when this was like a different type of game. Booster? Shield booster, score booster, damage booster. Armor ability, regen field. I don't know what this other junk is. Let's just try doing it with the base shit. Survive the Conan invasion. From in Jamie O'Neill. At least can dodge just about anything you shoot their way. Luckily, secret drones don't care much for gymnastics. Okay. Basic controls. So there's a little bit of aim assist. It seems like about the quality of Halo Wars. I wonder if it's built on top of that engine. Or at least use the assets from it. Wacky.
Yeah, nice work, dog.
I wasn't given the controls. Is there a tutorial for this game? I could probably use a tutorial, and there's probably a little bit of a story to it. Oh, yeah, tutorial. I just missed it. As the basic controls of the combat simulator. The blue haze of the training rooms would become our memory of our home. We spent so many hours in there. Welcome, Spartan. This training exercise will familiarize you with the basic controls of the combat simulator. Carefully read the next two dialogue text boxes and press a button to continue. The objective tracker displays your current objectives and the location of mission-related objects. You can use the left stick to move around. Move to the highlighted location. Where's the sprint button? Move on to the next room. Your shield absorbs incoming fire. When your shield is depleted, incoming fire will affect your health. Your health and shield replenish automatically when you have not taken any damage for several seconds. You cannot die during this tutorial mission. Let them drain your shields to 50%. Okay. Stand by cover until your shields are recharged. Simple enough, even has the classic sound effects. Move on to the next room. Melee attacks enable you to hit an enemy from up close. Melee attacks can be performed by pressing RB. Whack. Ooh, there's even a few different animations. On to next room. You can carry two weapons, one active and one holstered. Currently, your active weapon is an assault rifle and your holstered weapon is a magnum. Both weapons are out of ammo. You will automatically pick up ammo from nearby weapons on the ground and from nearby weapon lockers. Okay. Stand next to the weapon locker to pick up ammo. So that's what it looks like. Okay. Neat. You can aim using the right stick. To fire a weapon, press and hold right trigger. To fire a plasma pistol, press and release the right trigger. Okay. Destroy dummy. The assault rifle. You can switch to your holster weapon by pressing Y. You also don't have to reload in this game. To pick up weapons that are close to you on the ground, press X. When a weapon is close enough to be picked up, it will be highlighted by an icon. Gotcha. Destroy dummies with the plasma pistol. The plasma pistol can fire charged shots. Charged shots can be used to take down shields or temporarily disable vehicles and turrets, until Halo Infinite decide to remove that feature. To fire a charge shot, press and hold RT, the plasma pistol will start to charge. When the plasma pistol is fully charged, release RT to fire the charge shot. Missed. Let me in. Pick up some frag grenades. Ooh. To throw a grenade, press LT. You can aim and fire a weapon as a directional aid. Got it. You can carry 2 types of grenades. One is active and one is holstered. You can tell to active grenade by pressing B. Pick up some incendiary grenades. Alright. Got it. The armor ability icon displays the type and charge level of your armor ability. Your armor ability is currently depleted, but it will recharge automatically. Currently, you have the active camouflage armor ability equipped. When activated, you'll temporarily be invisible to enemies. When your armor ability is fully charged, you can activate it by pressing LB. Armor ability's effect will last until it's depleted. Stealth. You can pick up a new armor ability by standing close to it and pressing X. When the armor ability is close enough to be picked up, it'll be highlighted by an icon. Oops. You just have to tap it, not hold it. You can enter turrets by standing close to them and pressing X. When you stand close enough to an entrance point, it will change to an arrow. You can aim the turret using the right stick. You can fire the turret by pressing and holding right trigger. Turrets will heat up when firing. An overheated turret will temporarily be disabled. Nice. Exit turrets by pressing X. Next room. You can enter vehicles by standing close to them and pressing the X button. When you stand close enough to an entrance point, it will change to an arrow. Alright, let's enter. You use the left stick to move your vehicle, just like normal Halo. While moving, a blue arrow will indicate your current direction. Drive Scorpion to a location marked by the ejector tracker. Ooh. Scorpion circle can be aimed with the right stick. You can fire the Scorpion's machine gun by pressing and holding RT. You can fire the Scorpion cannon by pressing LT. Exit vehicles by pressing X. Kill score. During the game, you'll be awarded points for killing enemies. Some are worth more than others. Medal score. You can also earn points through medals. A medal is a repeatable mini-objective such as the Killing Spree medal. Kill 3 enemies in a row without being hit. In some missions, you get extra points for completing the mission faster. This is the time bonus. Your final score for a mission is your kill score. Medal score and time bonus combined. Depending on your final score, you're awarded a bronze, silver, or gold star completing the mission. Okie dokie. So there's a total of 5 in each, and there's 6 things, so 30 missions? Alright. A2. Exit these sites. The mirror flats are flanked by the towering ice cliffs. So these are different. Yes, they are. Okay. X-50's huge stretches of ice, the Mirror Flats, were flanked by towering ice cliffs. After ordering their main Wraith battalion to assault Research Facility Alpha, the Covenant had quickly deployed Phantoms to set up supporting artillery along the eastern cliff wall. With this artillery operational, a UNSC counteroffensive would be suicide. This rendered Alpha Facility a vulnerable target. Spartan, Palmer, and a detachment of Marines were sent to infiltrate the Covenant positions and destroy the plasma artillery. Navigating the maze of cracks covering Mirror Mantle Ridge would have been an insurmountable challenge for most soldiers, but Palmer was able to use the terrain to her advantage and surprise the artillery positions. Her victory was instrumental in giving Alpha Facility a fighting chance. So what if I just grab this? Oh, Halo 4 achievement has unlocked 1 free use of this item. Okay. So that's what that is. Is that the same thing for the... Yep, same for the Spartan laser. Well, I beat Halo 4 on my 360 account, so I guess that makes sense. A little bit. But we don't get any boosters, though. Let's get in there. Destroy the Covenant fuel rod turrets. Rivals a security blanket as much as a weapon. Knowing you can pull a trigger and it'll make a loud noise is comforting. But if you want results, use a rocket launcher. Okay, that's a big-ass Hornet. Destroy fuel rod turrets. There's 3 of them. Alright. Come on, Spartans. We got some shit to blow up. Yeah, the assets look very much like Halo Wars. I'm pretty sure that turret is a Halo Wars turret.
Got him in my sights. Target neutralized.
Killing Frenzy. Oh. Hurry. Get out the turret.
Now that's how we go.
Oh, just more ammo. And so far, the lack of music is the biggest hindrance for this game. What is that? Oh, we lost one of our Marines.
Great shot.
Okay, here's some music.
Yeah, nice work, dog. I see him.
Okay, that's... we're not going to get anywhere by trying to do that. Do we have grenades still? We do. Yeah. I just got to reach the extraction point. What is this? Oh, just more ammunition. And so for this game, like, it's not bad. It's not really great. Simple. All right. Reinforcement of the Perch. The UNSC's research facility Alpha was constructed at the base of an ancient Forerunner structure, recently discovered by the UNSC. When it became clear the Covenant were heading for the Forerunner structure, UNSC command feared Alpha facility would be crushed. The Covenant were relying heavily on dropship insertion, and Spartan Davis realized they would be vulnerable to focused anti-aircraft fire, so he had begun establishing air defenses to west of Alpha facility at a location designated Glacial Perch. Unfortunately, the Covenant had identified the need to secure this area, and when Davis arrived, Glacial Perch was swarming with grunts and elites. Should we apply some skills just to see what happens? Famine seems easy. I feel like blind is an easier one. I don't think we ever hit zero shield. Let's see what happens. Escort the Wolverines to the top of the cliffs. You know, get in. Alright. Escort mission go. I don't even know what I'm killing. Ooh, there it is. Okay, so if your shields just run out, you immediately die because you have no health. Ben was definitely making things fun. We overheated it.
That's how it's done. I'm hit! Ow!
So they're showing up from behind us as well now. Alright, take care of you. And you. Oh boy, Spirit Airlines. Eliminating remaining enemy opposition. I can do that.
Completed objective.
Nice. How many points we get? Not even close. Yeah, I don't think it's worth using skulls. Let's just get through this game. So, live to fight. Although the UNSC forces successfully slowed the Covenant, enemy numbers were too great to halt their advance indefinitely. A continuous stream of Covenant infantry, race, and air support were moving towards Research Facility Alpha. Having concluded that returning to the main facility would be useless, Spartan Palmer began fighting her way upstream with the invasion in an attempt to reach one of the northern outposts. Her plan was to destroy Covenant air support and give the UNSC Hornets a chance to land near the outposts. The ultimate goal was to get off X-50 and warn Dreythus 5 of the Covenant invasion. So, wait. Does it automatically select based on the mission? Yep, it automatically selects your beginning loadout based on the mission. Okay. Let's throw on the Baman Skull, why not? Add a little bit of challenge, I guess. For fun. Destroy the anti-air base. The flight was built at the airbase. The flight into the airbase was a sight I'll never forget. The ground was littered with destroyed race. What she did was truly amazing. Did somebody say drive a Wraith? Destroy Wraith wreckage. Clear path.
Well done.
Bin!
Heavy armor rolling on position. Target neutralized.
You tried to escape.
Enemy Wraith
It's no use.
on our way. That's a confirmed kill.
Reach the outer valley. Reach the other side of the valley. It means. Oh. Got hop out first. That was simple. Didn't even need to care about a weapon. Simple. The last stand. Within an hour of at X-50, the Covenant owned the moon, but despite the ferocity of the assault on X-50, the UNSC base on Dreythus 5 had no idea anything was afoot because the planet's unique magnetic resonance frequently made off-world communication nearly impossible. While Spartan Davis fought to hold the line on X-50, Spartan Palmer executed her plan to depart to Dreythus 5 and warned them of the inevitable Covenant invasion of the colony. Palmer ordered Marines in the area to fall back to the Hornet landing zones. Only 6 Marines made it there alive. They held against an overwhelming Covenant force until Palmer managed to escape. Ew, a shotgun? Gross. The EXP means absolutely nothing. Buy credits. Error, the upgrade service is unavailable. Check your internet connection. Yeah. Yeah. Who needs upgrades? Survive until the Hornet arrives for extraction. Killing elites is like peeling an onion. You blast the shields, then the armor, then the skin and bone. Or maybe not exactly like peeling an onion. Survive for 3 minutes until help arrives. Whoa! Oh, we lost a turret. Speed you sprint around the map is so stupid. I love it. Oh, I got uppercutted. was that? Oh, hey. I'll take one of those.
We're about to have gas.
Marines holding out like champs. So that's sort of like the Brute's regen field.
Enemy sighted.
Objective successful.
With the Hornet.
Right here, Spartan.
Going.
I see him.
Get to the Hornet.
Well, rip the rest of those Marines.
As Spartan Davis continued fighting on the moon, Spartan Palmer and a handful of UNSC troops redeployed to the surface of Dratheus 5 to fend off the invaders there. Outmanned? Outgunned? Spartan Palmer didn't see it as a problem. How about you?
I mean, I would definitely love to have a few more hands to assist in beating up the enemy. Operation Tempered Shield. Siege of Faraday. Although Spartan Palmer was successful in warning Dratheus 5 of the coming attack, the Covenant assault hit the colony's defenses like a tidal wave. Dratheus 5's main outpost, Faraday Base, was located on the border of an expanse of dense vegetation to the north and an enormous rock plateau to the south. When the Covenant invasion force eventually arrived, the first defense lines surrounding Faraday were quickly breached before the base's sentry turrets were fully operational. Palmer took the field and almost single-handedly held off the waves of Ungoy suicide units crashing down into the thick concrete walls behind the defense lines. Suicide grunts, yay. The only way you could stop the suicide grunts was through sustained fire, slowing them down and hoping you were far enough from the ensuing blast.
I see him.
They're charging our position. Much more damage and that door's coming down. Here they come! That door's not gonna hold.
That one grunt is,
About to have
a little broken, isn't he? Well, there's no friendly fire, at least. Okay, let's just kill this guy. Maybe he's holding up the mission.
We're about to have death.
Eliminate remaining opposition. Can do. Just one stray lead. Easy. Isn't Palmer like in the tutorial of Halo Infinite? Let's see. Reactor field relief. UNSC technicians had built numerous magnetic reactor stations across Dreythus 5. The Western Reactor Field was one of the largest of these stations, and was of great interest to the Covenant. Luckily, the trench-like layout of the reactor field provided the Marines stationed there with a terrain advantage, and Covenant infantry platoons had significant difficulties in seizing the station. After supporting the Marines at Faraday, Spartan Palmer moved to provide support in the Western Reactor Field. Palmer's prime objectives were to protect several squads of Wolverines and halt the Banshees, providing air support to the Covenant infantry. It's another protection? Okay. Fuck it, we'll just do it normally. We don't need skulls, let's just kill. Dual SMGs. Stun Blast? A place charge that stuns hostile infantry in a radius. Okay. Cool. That could be useful. Those little yelping grunts kept throwing themselves at our positions. Kept on coming like water through a busted dam. Reach the first group of Wolverines. Hey, Wolverines.
Yeah, nice work, dog.
Who needs to aim? Just shoot your way out.
Great work, Spartan. Wolverines are clear.
Reach a second group of Wolverines. Gotta say, the aim assist is definitely welcome. Ooh, more grenades. Alright, some more usual defense. I definitely feel like the one thing this game could definitely use would be a better soundtrack. Because that feels like the weakest thing to me. Oh, I died. I was doing so good, too. At least these missions aren't, crazy. Like, they're relatively short.
Targets! Great shot!
Like, you just have to make it through the mission without dying. They're really not lying about the grunts flowing like water. I really gotta use this stun thing more often. Let's go this way. Shotgun? Ah. Shotgun won't last as compared to just these dual SMGs. Looks like those elites broke for a second.
Yeah, nice work, dog.
One thing I wish I had is like a line to show exactly where I'm aiming. Because I am having so much trouble figuring out exactly where I am aiming. There we go. Accomplished mission. Silver. So, hunt for the Sangheili. After Faraday Base's defenses were stabilized, Spartan Palmer began trying to establish the location of the Covenant officers leading the invasion. After taking significant losses, Marines of the 21st Scout Platoon had managed to uncover a set of promising coordinates. These commanders' locations were well hidden by Dreythus V's unique magnetic signatures. Without Palmer, the officers might have remained hidden for days. She found them within 30 minutes. Ooh, a shotgun as our starting thing. These were big damn plants, like tentacles, I swear. It was like the planet was fighting us too.
Enemy sighted.
Eliminate all elite commanders. Yeah, those are the fucking Covenant base turrets. From Halo Wars. They're 100% using, like, Halo Wars as a base. 100%.
Target neutralized.
So now we have to get around. Oh.
Yeah, nice work, dog.
Target neutralized.
Oh, a Needler. I wonder if the Needler's any good in this game. Got plenty of ammo to test it out.
Got him in my sights.
Target neutralized.
Okay, the Needler seems to be pretty good to me. Let's see, weapon. Okay, 200 is the max ammo for the Needler.
Got company.
So that was our starting point.
Targets. Need a little help here. I see him.
Target neutralized.
Gonna whap ya. Whap.
Got company. Yeah, nice work, dog.
Yeah, some light heat seeking. As is normal.
Got him in my sights.
There we go. I'm quite happy I didn't die. Because dying is quite bad. All back to extraction point. Environments are pretty neat. Why do the numbers have different bolding on the bottom there? I just noticed that. Silver. So, battle for Epsilon Expanse. 9 lofty bridges spanning an enormous gorge called Epsilon Expanse allowed for access to the southern plateau where the majority of the Covenant landing zones were located. The Covenant quickly secured these bridges and held UNSC forces at bay with heavy artillery. Sergeant Palmer escorted the 23rd Armored Cavalry to the Epsilon Expanse, but the Scorpion tanks would not survive the guaranteed heavy artillery fire. Taking a small team of Marines across one of the bridges, Palmer managed to infiltrate the Covenant camps and destroy several artillery turrets, giving the Scorpions a chance to advance and launch a counteroffensive. Got the hologram. Nearly a third of our battalion was lost on that bridge that day. The enemy artillery was simply too much for us. Seems like I had a tough time, yeah.
Yeah, nice work, dog.
Alright, let's take this Wraith and take it home. Oh, so okay, so if you die in a tank, then you just die. I gotta use a Spartan laser once. Bet there ain't a thing in the galaxy that wouldn't cut right through. That doesn't lead anywhere. Got it, so we have to go this way. What is this? Wow.
Targets.
Yeah, the tank was probably a trap. Okay. Don't I have a tank fight? Let's have a tank fight. Plant bombs and mega turrets. Oh, X. Okay. Bomb has been planted. May have lost my Marines. But we'll make it. So scorpions are back here. Oh, hello, scorpions. Only silver. So, battle at Red Slate. With the Covenant's southern forces exposed, Spartan Palmer and the 23rd Armored Cavalry's massive column of Scorpions and Grizzlies rushed across the Red Slate Plateau on a collision course with several Covenant tank battalions. Only a UNSC counteroffensive would prevent Faraday from being crushed between the northern and southern front. 23rd had brought 86 vehicles to Dreythus 5. After a battle at Red Slate, there were only 8 functioning vehicles left. Find and destroy all race. Yeah. This is the fun shit. Guessing there's a wraith down here. Wrecking ball. Got one just shown over here, somewhere. They go fast. It's only half destroyed. Half destroyed's good enough. Medal score. Once again, only silver.
Even though the battle was going in the Spartans' favor, Dratheus 5 had a surprise in store. Its moon wasn't a moon at all. It was a Forerunner creation, designed to build and destroy entire planets.
What?
Nobody knew about this until the Covenant cult leader found a way to reactivate the old Forerunner tech and start disassembling Dratheus 5. It was Spartan Davis's job to shut down the device.
But how could they activate it? They shouldn't be able to. They're not reclaimers. Operation Monolith. Let's see. Descend from the perch. As Spartan Palmer led the charge on Dratheus 5, Spartan Davis continued to face considerable enemy threat on the moon. In a stroke of luck, the UNSC Eminent Domain was able to outmaneuver Covenant forces in orbit over the moon and offer some support by deploying Marines to the southern Mirror Flats. The Herd Helljumper platoon was the first to land on Dratheus 5's moon. Their drop zone was less than a mile from Alpha facility, but the landing scattered them across the razor-sharp rock faces of the mountain range called Glacial Perch. They were quickly surrounded by Covenant infantry and taking heavy losses. Spartan Davis, having held out against a constant stream of Ungoi and Sanghili for a full day, quickly set out to clear the landing zone for the second wave of drop pods. Let's get in there and provide some help. I still have nightmares about the stealth elites. They would come out of nowhere. You had to look very, very closely. You could see the air move just before they jump you, but then it was usually already too late. So that means we're going to be dealing with stealthy boys. Okay. That's some good shit. Give me that good shit. Hey, Marine. Oh, this is the beam rifle. This thing's in Halo Reach. And it's relatively garbage. In Reach, that is. They don't have Jackal snipers here, so we have to deal with red elites with snipers. Those aren't ODSTs, those are normal Marines. Oh, we got gold. Nice. Spirit Graveyard Standoff. Having secured a landing zone at the Glacial Perch, Davis moved to regroup with a second platoon of Marines, whose pods were coming down among dozens of crashed spirits. These spirits were destroyed from orbit by Eminent Domain just as the ship itself was destroyed. Davis and the Marines found Covenant infantry swarming from the wrecked spirits, angry and looking for payback. Plasma pistol and plasma repeater, huh? Reconvene with the Marines and survive the Covenant assault. Some days, a bullet or a ball of hot plasma just isn't enough. Sometimes you gotta beat a target to get to death with the butt of your gun.
Objective secured. Incoming!
Oh, we got drones. Yeah, better aim than me when I'm playing a shooter, at least. Can't hit these things good for shit unless they're holding still.
Yeah, nice work, dog. They're charging our position!
What is this? More plasma pistol. Junk. Assassin. Alright, I'm gonna be taking that from you. Is Wrecking Ball just getting kills in a vehicle? Collect and defend engineers. Okay. Turn to center of drop zone. Return. Defend engineers against the final assault. Why won't you die? Splatter spree. I got a splatter spree by shooting a guy. That makes sense. Silver. Assault on the supply lines. South of the Forerunner structure, a collection of thousands of spiked rock formations known as the Basalt Maze protruded from the moon's thick ice. Covenant supply lines are running straight through the maze to set up more defenses around the Forerunner structure. Spartan Davis connected with UNSC combat technicians who believe they could render the Forerunner structure inert. They just need the chance to get inside the structure. Getting the combat engineers close to the Forerunner structure would be extremely difficult, so Davis created a diversion to provide them with the best chance. The Basalt Mine provided an ideal location for his plan. The Spartans must have shields, right? I saw a brute hit her so hard she could have crumbled like tissue paper.
Heavy armor rolling in our position.
Got him in my sights. Under fire!
Rates.
Yeah, nice work, dog.
Let's see. Here are grenades.
Enemy wraith rolling our way. Target neutralized.
Hostiles!
Oh, that's a normal wraith.
That's how it's done.
Heavy armor rolling in our position.
Oh, look. Perfect.
Confirmed kill.
Dead wraith is dead.
Target neutralized.
There we go. I was the one who did it, but I'll take credit for it.
Heavy armor rolling in our position. That's a confirmed kill.
Now, what is back here? Still some more shit on the map.
Enemy wraith rolling our way.
So I guess just run back. I mean, we've beaten the mission. You're just giving us an extra minute to accrue points.
On station.
Alright, another silver. Infiltration of the Covenant perimeter. Covenant forces established a mile-wide defensive perimeter around the Forerunner structure. To protect technicians, UNSC Command had deployed snipers among the Marines' reinforcements. They would provide suppressing fire from the higher ground around the structure. However, the area they were deploying to was swarming with stealth Sangheli. Spartan Davis escorted several sniper teams to their locations and cleared the area of distractions in the process. Without his support, the sniper squads wouldn't have had a chance to make it safely to their assignments. Focus rifle and a needler, huh? I'm a sniper, right? I'll take a turret out before they even know I'm there. But the stealth elites? They might be even sneakier than me. Molly Marcosi.
Yeah, nice work, dog.
72 ammunition. Question is, will that be enough? No, but now I have ammunition for the Needler. Needler ammo.
We're on the mark.
Back to full. The Needler doesn't use up enough ammo, does it? Pistol, perfect.
Location secured.
Alright, time to clear the path. Gotcha. Damn it, right at the end, probably. Doors are a pain in the ass. Got a lot of HP after their shields are down.
On station.
You set the run straight there. Easy, right?
Area secured.
gladly refill my ammo. Nice.
Objective complete.
Nice. I wonder what will happen if I do this. Because now that'll actually not be a good idea to do that. I can't properly read my stream. I have no idea if anyone's even typing. Restream chat. Alright. Superstructure standoff. Ooh, it's a chieftain. Spartan Davis and the remaining Marines assisted the combat technicians securing the fort on the structure, while Covenant reinforcements did everything in their power to stop the technicians. With supporting sniper fire from higher ground, Davis and his men were able to buy the technicians just enough time to do their work. However, even with their job complete, it was too late for Dreythus 5. In the sky, they could see the planet had already begun to violently break apart. What the hell's happening down there? See, ever see a Spartan at full sprint? It's unreal. They're here, then they're there. Faster than anything. Wow, that looks... That is a very bad looking body.
Objective successful.
Defend the engineer until the structure is open.
Help me out here. Hey, cover me. Help me out here. Hey, cover me. Halfway there. Hey, cover me. Help me out here. Almost done. Hey, cover me. Help me out here.
That's missiles are garbage.
Done. Completed objective.
Survive until the Forerunner device is disabled. God damn it. What more do I have to do? Seriously, look at the score at the bottom. Why are some numbers golden and why are some not? Is it just like weird UI bugs. Low effort. You'll never know, maybe.
Yeah, nice work, dog.
Almost.
I see sprint. Well, it's a good thing that we got that, because I nearly died.
Although Spartan Davis deactivated the device,
It's a fucking
Raytheus
Death
5
Star.
wasn't quite the safe and secure planet it used to be. Suddenly, Spartan Palmer wasn't just fighting off hordes of Covenant. She was heading an evacuation. With so many UNSC craft destroyed by the initial attack, she needed to find an alternate way to get everyone off-world.
Oh, we're commandeering some stuff. Operation Captured Chance. Escape from the southern fields. Across Drathius 5, the effects of the activation of the moon's Forerunner structure were being felt. Enormous slabs of rock were slowly floating away from the planet's surface, and both UNSC and Covenant troops were scrambling to get to safety. Spartan Palmer needed to get every last survivor off of Drathius 5 as soon as possible. But as the planet started to disintegrate, panic rippled through every infantry unit in the field. A coordinated retreat would be impossible. Fighting her way through hordes of fleeing Covenant in a rapidly disintegrating base, she managed to secure jetpacks to get her to safer ground. Regen field. Minutes before we had been under siege, now the Covenant soldiers were fleeing. It was still a long way from victory. Whoa. Yep, it's just flying away, huh? That is a brute shot. Thank you for providing me with some ammo.
Objective successful.
When did the brute shot become so shit?
Target. Under fire.
Yeah, that does nothing. Ooh, grenades. Was that the whole mission? Okay. That was the whole mission. Vito with quite a bit to spare. Only bronze because of that. Despite the chaos, some Covenant forces remain rooted in strategic locations within the areas around Faraday Base. The few surviving Marines and base staff had set up defensive positions in the western sector of the facility, preparing for a last stand against the increasing influx of the Covenant. Spartan Palmer arrived at the base's perimeter moments before the Marines would be overrun. Around the base, Palmer managed to secure several elephants. She then needed to relieve the besieged Marines and get them out of their predicament. Needler and Brute Shot. The Spartans are using hologram decoys and confusing the hell out of those grunts. Never seen anything so funny. So I'm guessing we have hologram stuffs. Give me that. Give me that. You know what? Give me that. Assault rifle is actually good. I thought we'd have to wait for Halo each to get a good assault rifle. That seems I was mistaken. Let's keep moving forward. Hey soldiers, how's it going? Oh, that's a shield. But you can't shoot while you're using it, so it's useless. Well, hello, random brute who just spawned in. Let's get those shields back up. Ooh. I like me a free ghost. Why they weren't using it themselves is beyond me. Probably hop out before it blows up. Escort the remaining Solaris to extraction point. Alright. Most of the way is cleared already, because I'm very punctual. Only silver. Assault on the Covenant landing zones. Dratheus 5 was ill-prepared for a full evacuation. Many ships had been destroyed in the initial Covenant assault. UNSC command estimated at best 40% might reach safety. The rest would die. Spartan Palmer declared those odds unacceptable and hatched a plan to abuse the rapidly degrading Covenant morale to overrun their landing zones and confiscate their spacecraft. The Covenant forces stationed at the landing zones were completely surprised by the bold attack. Already displaying cracks in their morale due to earlier losses, the Covenant forces quickly gave up the landing zones. Shotgun. And Smig. Alright. Let's blow shit up. Oh, we're in a grizzly. Just drive straight through, blow everything up. Oh, the fucking, little thing is in the way. Okay, I have to get out because I can't get across here. Darn. Let's see. I don't think this will affect it. Yeah, it doesn't. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Oh, no. We fought so hard for those bridges, now he couldn't leave them behind fast enough. We're gonna hit that dead end again, aren't we? Yep. Actually, we might be able to go around the side there. Nope. You have to do it the normal way. Don't kill. Could always just do that. Get off. All right. Oh, sweet, more shit here. Just one more. Regroup with UNSC forces. But first, let's do a little bit of damage. Oh, they're not even going to put enemies in our way? How thoughtless of them. Huh, we definitely got gold on that one. Alright, escape from Faraday. Strategic locations at the Epsilon Expanse had been hard won, and a rear guard was established at each of the bridge's exit points to cover the convoy of elephants taking the evacuees south. Spartan Palmer knew that taking a slow-moving pack of transport vehicles across a quickly disintegrating war zone was not going to be easy, but earlier operations at the Epsilon Expanse had secured access to the Red State Plateau. Hordes of Covenant were overrunning the area, also trying to get to their ships in the south. These forces quickly diverted their attention to the fleeing elephants. It can never be easy. Then the elephant from the rear assault.
Enemies on the move.
Yeah, this elephant's pretty big, ain't it? Red. No. No. Stay away from Elephant. Oh yeah, I have a stun grenade, don't I? I never remember that. Oh, I'm out of ammo.
Area secure. Area secured.
Defend the element from the frontal assault. Okay. Ooh. Just barely. We ended it with the bronze. Alright, defense of the enemy's airbase. After getting her convoy of elephants safely across the plateau, Spartan Palmer organized the construction of a series of makeshift defense structures in order to protect the ships as evacuees loaded. With a mix of outrage and desperation, the Covenant fought to reclaim their only means of escape. After succeeding in holding off the Covenant infantry, Palmer managed to get 23 spaceships off the ground. She saved hundreds of lives that would otherwise have been lost. Let's see. We had needed a victory before, but this one was different. It wasn't just defeat we were looking at, it was the death of nearly every human being in the system, as is every Halo game, right? So limit casualties. Alright.
We've got company. Great shot. It's clear.
Incoming.
A little bit.
Yeah, nice work, dog.
second spirit.
Here they come!
There they are. There we go.
About to have company.
We do have a turret.
They're charging our position!
Ooh, from the other side.
We're about to have guests. Enemies on the move.
Yeah, nice work, dog.
My aim is not good enough for this. Okay, we actually made it.
Well done.
Ooh. Evacuated. Act D done.
Spartan Davis sacrificed himself to save many lives on Dratheus 5. Although the Covenant forces were broken, the UNSC command wanted the Covenant leader, Merg Vol, eliminated. Spartan Palmer was tasked with returning to the moon to finish the job.
Rip. He went out like a worse Noble 6. Alright, Operation Frostbite. Hunt for the Phantom. With transportation secured, one last hurdle remained in getting the colonists safely off of Dratheus 5. The leader of the Covenant forces, Merg Vol, was still present on Moon X-50, providing the remaining Covenant forces with a rallying point and cry. If the colonists were to leave Dratheus 5's orbit alive, Merg Vol would need to be terminated. Spartan Palmer would need a way to get to the moon unseen, but the Covenant knew about her stolen spirits, and would likely open fire on any of these ships trying to land on the moon. Palmer suspected the Covenant's commanding officer on Dratheus 5, Parg Vol, had a personal transport hidden away. After completing the evacuation operation, locating Parg Vol's ship became Palmer's highest priority. These dense trees didn't make it easy. Luckily, they hid us from Covenant patrols. Luckily, quietly following them, we found our objective within mere hours. Find Parg Vol's Phantom.
Targets.
You're fine, just rub some dirt on it.
Enemy sighted. Watch fire. Got him in my sights. Got company.
Haha.
Need a little help here.
Need to do a better job at stealthing.
I see him.
my. Wow, it's so underwhelming getting just splattered. You all are screwed. Until we hit forest, and then we can't go any farther.
On station.
You're at the landing zone. That's annoying. Brute shot. Brute shot's not good. So these SMGs are just not good at killing the elites at all. This should serve me a bit. Rest in pieces, Marine. Damn it. mission just sucks.
Yeah, nice work, dog. Got him in my sights. Quick fire. You're mine.
Here we got our needler. Got a few plasma grenades. Probably won't make any difference, but we gotta try to win, I guess, right?
Nice hit.
I'll be taking this. Let's blow that up before they get a chance to use it, huh? What the hell is this?
Great shot. Hostiles. I see him.
Location secured.
All right, secure site.
Under fire.
I got hit in the back and it assassinated. Okay. It's annoying. One thing that sucks is that we have to go through like a few minutes of garbage just to get to the ending segment. The one problem with like these short missions, there's no checkpoints. I should just sit on the shade turret the whole time. That's what I should do. Hey, we got a few people that are actually still alive. what is that item down there? Hologram? Not great.
Hostiles!
Well, so much for utilizing the shade turret. But I can stay back and slowly whittle them down one by one.
Area secured.
Nice hit! Enemy sight. That's how we done. Yeah, nice work, dog. Great shot.
Not done yet. There we go. Another mission down. And we got the gold score. Alright, E2. The Scorching of the Thicket. Pargvol's camp was easily defendable, but Spartan Palmer neutralized the perimeter guard and moved in. The real challenge would be in accessing Pargvol's vehicle, a Covenant Phantom. While a combat technician was bypassing the Phantom security protocols, Pargvol made his return. When he realized Palmer's intent, he ordered a full frontal assault on her position. With heavy plasma artillery raining down from a platoon of Wraiths, Palmer held off the infantry just long enough for the technician to succeed. Focus rifle. Garbage. I still have nightmares about the stealth elites. They would come out of nowhere. You had to look very, very closely. Yeah. Weird, right?
Targets!
I'm about to die. Much better. Dead. Of course. Not surprised. You get overrun very quickly. Poke the hornet's nest. Yeah, that's about right. this. Just keep it going.
Halfway there. Almost done.
Rifle spree. Just keep killing. We're all good.
Objective complete.
Let's get out of here. Well, that was interesting. Just sit in front of the ammo locker and keep getting ammo. Easy. Silvered it. Infiltration of the cult leader's base. Aren't those the turrets from Halo Reach? Murgville's base on the moon was surrounded by Tyrant anti-aircraft turrets. Hearing of Spartan Palmer's theft of Pardvol's ship, Murgville ordered every flying craft to be shot down, the only exception being the commanding officer's Phantoms. Having successfully piloted the Phantom through the Covenant fleet orbiting Dreythus V's moon, Palmer was able to land south of Murgville's camp, out of range of his turrets. Her Trojan horse tactic had worked. Although she was closing in on Murgville, she still had to fight her way through a heavily fortified camp of his most seasoned soldiers. If only she could persuade them to lead the safety of their positions. If you get a hold of a plasma grenade, you can stick it to just about anything, including a grunt's forehead. Boom! Eliminate all enemies. Did somebody say go stealth? They have actual line of sight stuffs. Whack. This stealth whack tactic is actually pretty effective, isn't it? Although it seems very buggy against elites. What the hell's happening? How many enemies are there? Oh, damn. Okay, I think we should head north and grab that wraith. We saw Spartan Palmer entered the lion's den from the ship's bridge. Before we knew it, all hell broke loose. All hell, you say? If you keep spitting enemies out, I'm gonna keep knocking them down. Never knew it hit him. And all that remains is probably like one runt that spawned at the top of the map. Yep. Called it exactly. Wait, there's more? Well, if there's more, I'm not gonna let him go easily. They just would not stop spawning. So many enemies. Silver. Hunt for the cult leader. In the hours since launching their attack, the Covenant cultists had established themselves in a long covered gorge between Mergvol's camp and the Forerunner's structure, setting up an almost impregnable position. With Mergvol's camp neutralized, Spartan Palmer made her way to the Forerunner's structure. The Covenant troops were Mergvol's most devout followers and threw themselves at her mercilessly. Palmer would have to battle her way through a heavy opposition if she were to finally reach Vol's position, and before she could confront Merg-Vol himself, she first needed to deal with his lieutenants. Garbage items. Eliminate the lieutenants. Yeah, I feel like this will be useful. That is a wraith. Oh shit. That is a dead wraith.
That's a confirmed kill.
Damn, this ghost is just wrecking shit. Although they'll wreck me just as easily. Wraiths just go down pathetically. Okay. Needler, you say? Wait a minute, what was that? Ooh, stealth, okay. You can hijack a wraith in a sec.
Target neutralized.
Get out, this is mine now. Accuracy percentage doesn't matter when you have unlimited ammo.
Target neutralized.
That all damage goes. For him. Didn't even have a chance to get away.
That's a confirmed kill.
Alright. Give me that wraith. Thank you. It's in much better condition than my current one. I love how loudly they explode. Oh, they don't want me cheesing my way through with a raid. Alright. I won't show mercy. Oh, I looked out there. Didn't have to deal with the ghost. Alright, E5, Battle for the Moon. Mergvul was convinced he had been chosen by his gods to wield the power contained within the Forerunner structure. Having spent considerable resources to unlock its secrets, Vul managed to activate the structure's emergency defenses. With the deadly defenses at his command, Vul had become extremely dangerous. Unable to contact Spartan Davis since landing on Dratheus V's moon, Parma was prepared to battle Vul on her own. Vul's exact location had not been difficult to find. The direct area at the foot of the Forerunner structure was littered with a trail of dead UNSC soldiers. Now there was one lone Spartan ready to finish the fight. Eliminate enemy opposition. And hey, give me one of those healers. Oh, those things hurt you. Okay. Take down the cult leader's shield. Well, it looks like we took a shield down. Oh, what's he doing? trying to fucking run and heal, man. Yeah, if he catches up to you, you just immediately die. There's nothing you can do. So he's not chasing me because I didn't watch him grab his swords, I'm guessing? Stop. I just want my damn shields back. Execute code later. Do it. Oh, grab pistol and execute. Mission accomplished. I see like the chat room constantly refreshing, but I don't see any chat happening. I hate having to utilize NordVPN to fucking connect to Xbox garbage.
Managed to eliminate Merg Vol and avenge Spartan Davis. Spartan Palmer successfully sabotaged the Forerunner device, eliminating the threat once and for all. Good work, Spartan. You completed the full cycle of Dratheus 5 battle records. That's it. History lesson over. Now get out of here and go train in the war games with the other Spartans. I'll see you around.
Okay.
So, I killed Merg Vol and we all went home. Is that the official version these days? You ought to see what came next.
Okay, I'm gonna check something real quick. What the fuck? That's weird. Huh. Okay, anyway. Act F, Operation Hydra. Why is the UI scaled like each part, like each of them should have 6 instead of 5? You see that? Like, it looks like there should be one more mission for each. Anyway. Operation Hydra. Battle at the Arid Sea. The Covenant defeated. The UNSC exodus from Dratheus 5 seemed complete. The first sign that something else was happening came in reports of a low-frequency static. UNSC analysts quickly identified the noise as a looping string of Forerunner code. Something was still active on Dratheus 5's moon, and it seemed to be calling out for attention. Spartan Sarah Palmer returned to the surface of X-50, Dratheus 5's moon, to discover the UNSC was not the only one answering the bizarre Forerunner call. The Covenant had returned as well. They believed one of their gods were speaking to them, and they were adamant that the humans would not intercept the message. But they did. And here we are. Bullets never did too much good against shields on elites or jackals. Too bad we weren't nearly as well armored. Destroyed the Tyrants before reinforcements arrive. Tyrants? Shade turret. The shade turret, though. Our artillery came down on them like molten rain. It was still barely enough to get the job done. Well, we gotta get the shit done. Gotta keep pushing through. You bastard! I was gonna use that. I want you to fall. What's inside here? Oh. The vomiting plant. Alright, let's go plant this shit. Here's the landing zone for reinforcements. Give. Who else is left? Just some run on turret.
Completed objective.
Only a bronze. Alright. Reach of the bulwark. Once Spartan Palmer secured the landing zone, a constant stream of UNSC forces was redeployed to X-50's surface. The Forerunner signal continued to loop. The scientists are having a hard time pinning down its exact origin point. Meanwhile, Covenant forces recaptured a series of turrets along a large gorge called the Arid Sea. UNSC would require significant power to break through. Spartan Palmer took command of a battalion of Scorpions and Grizzlies in an effort to eradicate the Covenant turrets. As she fought, UNSC scientists began to crack the Forerunner code. They were beginning to suspect it was not an ancient voice at all. It was something quite recent, and it was calling for help. Somebody say Grizzlies? Growing up, we were taught a grizzly would eat you alive if you gave him half a chance. The Coveys had to learn that lesson the hard way. Let's go mow down some turrets. Yeah, that's also an asset from Halo Wars. I feel like the Grizzlies were slightly redesigned from Halo Wars, though. Oh, great. If only I could see in front of myself. Alright, there is one pure rod. And that's another. Just continue through the valley, okay. Now that the loud noises are over.
On station.
Silver. So, next up, Superstructure Assault. The disintegration of the Dratheus 5 caused large chunks of the planet's crust to crash into X-50's surface. The impact of these collisions revealed sections of a Forerunner structure that were previously hidden under the moon's ice. The size of the structure was staggering, stretching for miles in all directions, and once exposed, there was no doubt the structure was the source of the transmission the UNSC and Covenant were chasing. With the main line of the Covenant defenses breached, Spartan Palmer moved to locate the source of the Forerunner transmission. The terrain of X-50 was too challenging for the battalion to pass, so Palmer continued on foot toward the Forerunner signal. Suicide grunts, good lord. Your only hope against those things was a well-timed Mjolnir overload. Stop him and pop him at range.
I see him.
Bend the engineer and clear the area.
Help me out here.
Oh, hell yeah, needler ammo. Yeah, that looks Forerunner-y. Brent. Come on. There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah, nice work, dog.
Got him in my sights.
Button only hacks, 15 seconds, easy. Where the hell did you come from?
We've got company.
Hey, cover me. Objective set. Help me out here. Bring it back.
And now just hold down until it's activated. Get out of here.
Help me out here. Get in there. Hey, cover me. Help me out here. Hey, cover me.
Oh, my shields.
Got him in my sights.
Move across the light bridge. Wait, how many of these enemies are there going to be? I have basically infinite shields. If you wanna make this fight last forever, I will keep it going. Okay, looks like they're done. Never mind. Now they're done. Bruh, they have a tank over here already? Mission accomplished. Easy. Alright, 2 more missions to go, and we'll be done with this game. Really short game, only like 3.5 hours most likely. After defeating the Covenant forces at the Light Bridge, Spartan Palmer entered a cave UNSC command designated the Cistern. Although a large number of stealthing Haley forces were already in the area, Palmer moved forward, dispatching the enemy with skill. Deep within the cistern, she found the structure's entrance, large blast doors of Foreigner design, and from behind the doors, the origin of the signal. It was then that the UNSC scientists decoded the first part of the Foreigner transmission. It was a single word, Palmer. They warned the Spartan that the structure seemed to know her name. Everyone was reporting in lost, but Spartan Palmer always knew exactly where to go.
I see him.
Destroy the power cores.
Got him in my sights.
Ooh, grenades.
Enemy sighted.
Nice.
Got him in my sights. Hostile. Enemy sighted.
That's how it's done. Yeah, nice work, dog.
I see him.
Oh, it's a thing. Blow the thing. This thing is pretty tough. There we go.
Objective secured.
Targets.
There we go, back at maximum ammo. This thing isn't too bad at killing them. We need to open the shrine door, currently shut, obviously.
I see him.
Forerunner turret. pick this up. You can get a few shots for it. One more to go.
I see him.
It's very nice of them to keep giving us more Marines. Ain't dead yet? Now it's dead.
Objective successful.
Find the door to the shrine. I mean, I already know where it is.
Area secured.
Rendezvous at the door's console. Into the shrine. Mission done.
We're on the mark.
And now we probably have another boss fight, don't we? The source. Engineering equipment became increasingly unreliable while moving further into the cistern. The Forerunner signal interfered with anything capable of picking it up. Engineering worked frantically to keep their equipment in running order, yet Spartan Palmer's Mjolnir armor was able to withstand their interference. Palmer was able to follow the signal deeper into the caves, eventually to its very source. As she got closer, the Forerunner code rippled across her sensors, translating before her very eyes. Palmer, it said, help me. It was when the mission changed from exploration to extraction. Escort the engineer to the console.
Hey, cover me!
Rip the other one. Ooh, but we have a box here.
Location secured.
Ben engineer. Double cipher Forerunner code.
Help me out here! Hey, cover me!
Survive until the Pelican arrives to pick up Davis's remains. To the power quarters before it arrives.
Confirmed kill!
if I blow up the last one. Getting over there is going to be really tough because that is a lot of enemies. Objective, survive. Attach Davis's remains to the Pelican. Alright, we're good. Game over. So, what happened exactly? Wasn't Davis the other Spartan?
The transmission was Davis's call for help, just before he died. That planet was made to build things out of galactic material, and it tried to build something out of what was left of Davis. I shut it down. Spartan Davis was my friend, and a damn good soldier. He deserves better than to be wiped out of our training records.
And that's it then, I guess. UNSC Tactical Simulator. Now there was like something here. Halo Initiation Comic Book. Oh. It takes you to Dark Horse Comics. Cool. That's not useful for me since I'm not going to be buying it. But, yeah, that's Halo Spartan Assault. Short game, 3 hours, 20 minutes. The only thing that probably could make this better would be better music. The music and sound effects. What are the challenges, anyway? It's a bunch of EXP things. No weekly missions. So there's a bunch of missions for specific missions to encourage you to do it over and over again. Okay. But none of this is useful. So, yeah, that's it for Halo Spartan Assault. So if you'll give me 1 second to edit our progress chart, or I guess not progress chart, more text file. Give me a quick second. Loads slowly. Okay. Which means now that we're done with Spartan Assault, we move on to Halo 4. The first game that 343 made as part of their new, I guess it was supposed to be a trilogy, but at this point it's a duology and then a soft reboot with Infinite. So, yeah, Halo 4 is a pretty good game. Plays pretty well. So, yeah, we'll jump right into that. Give me a minute.